finally made our way to Las Vegas to check out Universal's Horror Unleashed, and we're taking you with us to check it out. This new venue for year-round horror is located at Area 15, just a few minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. To go to Horror Unleashed, you will need a time slot ticket, which you can purchase online or in person if they're available. We picked a 2:30 time slot on a Friday, and our tickets were about $100 each plus tax. The venue was actually a lot smaller than we expected it to be, and it only takes a few minutes to walk the whole length of the building. Our first stop of the day was at Jack's Alley, which was a bar serving some fun specialty cocktails. I started with a grave robber margarita, and while I was having my drink, a show actually started inside the bar. This show, featuring Jack the Clown, started in the bar, and then all the characters from the show actually moved onto a stage nearby. The show lasted about 20 minutes total and was actually pretty cute. And once the show was over, it was time to head into our first of 4 haunts. This first haunt was for The Exorcist Believer. I think Universal did a really good job with this particular haunt, and one of the best parts about it that I liked was there was actually a show stop moment where you fully stop in the middle of the haunt and a whole mini show happens. This show moment is not something I've seen in a haunt before, and I really liked the way they did it. Once we were done with our first haunt, we took a second to stop and check out the Boiler Bar, which had some kind of cool effects that happened. We decided to wait a bit before grabbing another drink though, because there were still more haunts we wanted to check out. For haunt number 2, we went into my favorite overall haunt of the day, which was themed to Universal Monsters. And while I have seen Halloween Horror Nights do mazes before that focused on Universal Monsters, I've never seen anything as detailed as this. It's honestly hard to show the scale in video, but these show sets were incredible and huge, and the detail inside the Universal Monsters haunt was so good. And this haunt had a whole other show stop moment where you got to see Dr. Frankenstein activate his monster. Once we were out of our second haunt, we spent a little while walking around and interacting with some different characters that were walking around in this central area of Horrors Unleashed. And these interactive characters were one of my favorite parts of the whole experience. One of these interactive characters even walked us into the Premier House restaurant, where we decided to stop and have dinner. Dinner at Premier House definitely had its ups and downs. We really liked the overall theme of the restaurant, which was themed to all sorts of different Blumhouse films. And we thought that the restaurant food and drink prices were very decent, and we loved that Megan came out in the middle of our meal and did a whole show. But unfortunately, overall, we thought that the food was just okay. Everything was plated pretty well, but honestly, it all could have just tasted better. After dinner, we only had 2 haunts left to see. For our third haunt, we went to check out Texas Chainsaw Massacre. At this point, it was about 5:30, and it was starting to get pretty crowded inside the venue. And because of that, we felt really rushed through our last couple of haunts because it felt like they were just trying to get as many people through as possible. And then, when we were finally ready to go into our last haunt for Scarecrow the Reaping, we ended up having to wait over an hour because they had closed the haunt so that the characters could take a lunch break. We did enjoy the Scarecrow haunt, but it also felt rushed. And once we were out, we decided it was just time to leave.